There's also a case that's pending before the Supreme Court right now on the Second Amendment. As you know, we've had a case that came down last year that stated that the Second Amendment does apply to federal law and that federal government can't prevent you from owning firearms. However, it didn't address the issue of whether the Second Amendment applied to state governments and laws passed by states. There are two cases right now, one out of the Ninth Circuit, one out of the Sixth Circuit, that have two different opinions. One says the Second Amendment applies and states can't abridge your rights to gun ownership. The other opinion says it doesn't apply and states can do whatever they want to. That's now, oral arguments have been heard at the Supreme Court. Hopefully you'll have a decision coming down in a few months on that. So these are some examples of what's going on in our country. We've been asleep at the wheel for a long time, folks, and we've got to stop this, and this is our last chance, the November election. It is so critical that we get out and get the vote turned out in November. We're also, by the way, the gentleman I mentioned, Kelly Shackelford, has agreed to come to Ellis County and speak and inform folks about what's going on, not only here but in other states right now. In addition to that, we're looking at setting up a meeting here in the county that'll be hosted by wall builders. Dave Barton, if you've ever heard of him. He has led a lot of seminars across the country about the influence that our founding fathers had in setting up the Constitution. He talks about the Constitution and about what influenced them. So that's going to be going on in the future as well. We have tried to canvass the neighborhoods in Ellis County, and I think that our movement here has been somewhat successful. A member of this movement is now the county GOP chair here. There are quite a few members out of this movement that are taking positions as precinct chairs come May 22nd. We've been working it the right way. We can just do so much by influencing Ellis County. We've got to influence Congressional District 6 and Senate District 22. In that respect, we're looking at forming a regional movement. We have some folks here from Navarre County that have started the conservative movement there. We've had some members from Leon County that have come down when we sponsored Joe Barton. And we are trying to form a regional group that will influence elections going forward in Congressional District 6. We get good conservative candidates to run for office. That's something I really want to emphasize that we're all about. We need to find good conservative people who are concerned about our country, who love our country, who are willing to take a leadership position and stand up for what's right and run for office. And so I would encourage all of you to be thinking about who you may know. It may be your neighbor, it may be the person down the street that we can visit with and see if we can encourage them to run. I know somewhere in this district there is a good person or good people that will run for office and can do a good job of representing us and turning this thing around and for once follow the Constitution that we need. I appreciate all of you being here. I do want to mention that one of the things that we're doing about consolidating this group, we've decided that you can no longer operate if we want to do what we want to accomplish by asking for donations and a coffee can. So we are setting up a 501c3 and a 501c4, which will permit any donations to the group to be tax deductible, and under C4, you can actually fund some candidates. It takes money to run for office. That's just a given. There's also an organization called American Majority. They put on training programs for individuals who want to become active as a political activist, working your neighborhoods, or running for office. We're going to be talking to them about coming in and putting on a 2-day training session here in the county in the future for folks that may be interested in trying to understand, how do I draft a letter to the editor that they won't reject? How do I go about canvassing a neighborhood? How do I energize people to get to the polls? What does it take to run a campaign? This past time we saw some folks, and I applaud them for wanting to put their hat in the ring and run. But you know, to run a campaign, especially when you're running against the incumbent, takes more than putting your name on the ballot. You have got to have some money. You've got to know how to raise money. You have to know how to present yourself to the public, how to get your ideas across. You have to know how to generate the vote. And it's some hard work, but it can be done, but you have to start planning ahead of time. You can't wait until the 11th hour and jump in. It just won't work. So that's what we're all about. That's where we're going with this movement. We hope you will join with us in making it a success. Next meeting that we have, I hope we have 20 times this number of people show up. I will say that on many of our meetings that we've had, we usually have been averaging between 50 and 70 people. Various reasons, weren't sure what the turnout would be here. We thought we'd try the format. But we're going to be setting up another meeting down the road, and we're going to be getting the word out. Please read your emails. For quite some time, we haven't had meetings because we've been concentrating on the primaries that have just taken place. That's behind us. We're going to be moving forward now and concentrating on getting a large vote in this district, not just the county, turned out for Senate District 6. And we're going to make a change in Congress in November. We're going to have good conservative people that are using the Constitution as a guideline and not as a footmat, which they've been doing. Now, let me ask you this. Everyone that's here, are you with us to change the makeup of Congress in November? Yeah! All right. Then we got to get the word out. We've got to get all of our folks energized to do that. Thank you all for coming. TJ, Harlan, do y'all have anything you want to say?
Give her the microphone. We cannot, she's saying if we're going to change Congress, how do we do that? Joe Barton is running unopposed, and we can't do anything about that. You're right, we can't do anything about that this cycle.
Well, how do you like him?
I don't like him.
Okay. Well, because I think he's going to stay in the office and you can't get rid of him.
We're trying to, one of the things that we're trying to do, and Gary mentioned it, we're trying to build up CD6, Congressional District 6. We're trying to get the 8 counties that make up CD6, all of them have tea parties in those counties. Some of them are very small, some of them are pretty good size. Navarro County guy was right there. They've got a pretty decent sized group there. And what we're trying to do is get all the tea parties together quarterly in CD6 and hold meetings with the leadership and see what we have to do, and then they spread it out to the membership. And then we're trying to get together once or twice a year to get a rally of all the people in CD6. We'll pick a location, get everybody together. That's what we're working on. We're trying to find a candidate that will run and beat Joe Barton. They may be right here in this community. They may be in Navarro County. They may be in Leon County. We don't know. We got to find somebody. And that's in 2 years. And we're going to start working right now, finding a candidate and trying to find who we want to back and who we want to help with our money.
Okay, how about our two senators?
I'll let TJ Fabby talk about that. I don't like either one of them either. I don't. And I don't know, we don't have a plan for that yet. What we need some help. We need boots on the ground. And it's nice, you know, we cook these burgers to get y'all here to talk to you, and we like it being